What's up guys, this is Sean Tan and today let's talk about buy versus rent. So I overheard this topic about buy versus rents over a coffee table where, sorry to actually listening to your conversations, but there are arguments among the youngsters which is like, do I buy a property or do I actually rent? We may just look at it by buy versus rent, but to me it's why not do both? So let's first go through benefits of renting. So by renting, right, you actually have the flexibility. Flexibility is very important when you are young. Means that you are still in the testing mode, test water mode. Whether do you work in Johor, or whether do you work in Seremban, or whether do you work in KL, or whether do you work in anywhere you want. So there's no need to actually invest a lump sum of huge cash into a particular place where you are not staying, right? So let's say for example you own a place in Puchong as per se, then you go and work in JB, so what do you do and things like that. That also gives you financial flexibility where you don't need a lot of commitment in terms of outlay of capital. You can just rent anywhere you want to, and based on how much you want to rent, you want to rent at 1,000 or you want to rent at 3,000. That also gives you flexibility of time where you can actually stay anywhere close to your workplace. Let's say if I work in Johor, Medini area, I can just get a place in Medini, and if I work in Mong Kiara, I can just go Mong Kiara and rent a place. There's not much commitment. Renting also has its benefit currently because it's somewhat a tenant market. When there's oversupply of condominiums and apartments, right? Every owner wants to rent out because their monthly installment is a bit hefty. So as a tenant right now, there's always new blocks to move into. There's always better rates, more competitive rates. You can actually negotiate very much in this current state because owners are desperate. So you can ask for furnishing like, oh, I want more aircon, I want this sofa, I want this, I want a water heater. You can ask basically whatever you want. Next thing is value. In terms of value, right, you can actually stay in a 2 million worth apartment with 3,000 ringgit, right? Because if you are trying to own and stay a 2 million when your monthly installment itself would be like 10,000 for 30 years, but with only 3,000 a month, you can actually stay in that environment and enjoy the facilities. At the same time, you don't have to bear any risk. There's no risk in rental. So if you sign the tenancy agreement 2+1 years or 1+1 year, you get to enjoy that same rate consistently for that year. So if you want to move on further, then it's up to you. But end of the tenancy is where the revision of rental will happen, where it's really based on demand. If the demand of that area or that block is very good, it's up to your negotiation with the current owner then. So then let's talk about the benefit of buying. Real estate is one of the best investments that is actually hedged against inflation, meaning like as our money value is getting smaller and smaller, which means the same 1,000 10 years ago is different from the 1,000 today. Things used to cost way less, but now things cost way more, so the value of money seems going down. But this does not happen to real estate, where the value of house actually increase in accordance to the demand and supply. With this, then you have the increment of your personal wealth and personal value. Means that you don't have to work as hard and you don't have to save as hard as the vehicle or the vessel of your investment works for you. This allows you to leverage on other people's time and other people's money. So if you're really optimistic about the market right now, real estate generally will increase by 50 to 80% in 5 to 10 years time, but that really solely depends on location and the state of economy. But currently, based on the stats and data, generally property price do increase. So by owning a property also is a proof of adulthood or manhood. in China, people really look for men that has a property only you are ready for marriage. So especially Chinese lah. So Chinese has this belief where a man needs to have a house before they are ready for marriage. If you are a girl or a lady, you would not consider a man who have yet to own a place, right? However, moving back to rental, Germans and Europeans, they love rentals. So the law there actually protects more of tenants because flexibility is top priority to them. You don't need to be tied down in a place when then you need to actually move, right? You have all this inconvenience, you need to sell the house, buy the house. Because buying, actually, if you own a place, there's a lot of hands tied. Like to actually sell a house, there's a lot of process to it. To buy a house, there's even more process to it. And you need to work for the property. There's a lot of hidden costs like maintenance costs. Then there's like the local authority costs. Then like the land costs. Then like all these, a lot of things like. What's my take to this argument, right? Renting versus buying. I would actually do both. What this means is that I will actually leverage on the benefit of both. First of all, you don't need to actually stay in a place where you own. I actually met a lot of friends of real investors. They own like a lot of properties, but they are actually renting the place that they stay because their belief is that they can rent any place they want. So they can rent a very luxurious apartment for a price that they are willing to rent, which is like 4,000 for a 2 million ringgit valued apartment. Then they have several other apartments which they own as investments which generate rental incomes for them. So need not your property to be your home, but it's also a vessel of investment. You don't have to actually stay. So with that school of thought, there's no rush in actually buying a home, but there's a rush in investing in a property. So always the best time to actually buy a property is always 5 years ago. If you look into an apartment you would like today, you check back the price 5 years ago, it's always better, the price, right? So, and many may also argue, yeah, 5 years ago I should have got it. But then, if you continue to rent, so for those youngsters who are renting a place now, don't be too discouraged, but then aim to actually educate yourself in a position in how people generate income via rental and what's the trouble behind and things like that. So with that, I think that's all for today. If you really like this video, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. This is Sean Tan. I will see you guys soon. It's raining already. Ciao.